like the bomb plan in the last one. I mean, you say the lack of firepower on the CT side. There's still a lack of utility for the Ts, so it's kind of a mixed bag, right?
Oh, indeed.
Let's see what they've got. Here we go. Melio's going to get the trade there, so a little bit of aggression towards the B ramp. It's one way to compensate for maybe a less than stellar buy. Not necessarily going to work out. Now it gives double duty over towards CNF as they're leaving him as the one player in jump up to secure this B bomb site and mid, and that's a tough gambit to ask of a player. Poland now going to have to head back towards that site, and this really softens up every part of the map because they just have so much real estate to try and cover with such a minimized ability to do so. That at least the M4, well, Poland's not going to want to go for it. I was going to say the M4 towards B stairs might be retrievable, but that would expose him to any player lurking below, and without information to operate off of, it's going to be really tough to get it. Player's going to be bursting up the A ramp here, and this is going to be a very difficult hold indeed. Unless Flom catches somebody sneaking into this hallway, I don't imagine they're going to get much. But there we go. There's the start. He's losing most of his life to do so, but at least he'll even up the numbers. There's a chance for a second swing here from Poland in a bit of a cheeky spot. Calm's gotten a kill on the flank. Oh no, this is all falling apart for Oceanus. They had every advantage working in their favor, and they may have just played their cards a little bit too soon. They will be massacred. They will be dismantled, and this 3v5 has been won by Mythic.
I'm a little speechless as to how that all went down for Oceanus. Flom gets the first kill, Poland's there on the rotation, and it just all comes crashing down on top of Oceanus, tied across the shore, and the gods of the sea. Not looking very favorable here on Vertigo. I guess 51 stories is a little too far away from sea level for Oceanus right now, because they're getting walled out by any means necessary. Mythic winning a very unlikely round in extremely impossible circumstances where everything was favoring Oceanus, and that's exactly how fast things can turn in the middle of a round in Counter-Strike. Back on the Deagles for Oceanus, and then without a win here, it'll be 14-5. One more last-ditch rifle buy coming up from them to try and swing the comeback back to their favor, and that nade is going to try and put them at that 14-5 scoreline. Katie chipping away a little more with the MP9, but the deco still has not sung just yet, and Kohler will be the first victim of anybody from Mythic. Calm with the Krieg, spams down one more, and as it stands, there's 2 kills for Mythic, make it 3 without any damage taken, and those final couple frags will follow up extremely quickly.
The problem is that we're just not really going to get a sense of this T side for Oceanus, right? Like they had one gun round, but even then limited utility, and they definitely mishandled that gun round, having a 2-man advantage and being able to just sort of let it slip away. But that was really one of 2 opportunities to get this game. This is the second. It's do or die here. They have to win this, or at least get a bomb plant to give them a chance to battle back for 10 rounds to prevent match point, but I don't fancy their chances there. Flom, so bold. This is so very risky. He's getting kills, though, and Poland's supporting. The bodies have been dropped. The frags have been found. The map control firmly in their pocket. The bomb to boot as well. This is a catastrophe. This round might as well be over. No chance for the plant. No chance for the round unless they give easy frags back to Wolfie, and frankly, nobody should be peeking him whatsoever. That bomb is toppled so far that they can actually control it with sightlines from the cement bags, and that's just so tough to get back. This is nigh on impossible at this point. I mean, they're really just not going to be able to get back through this. This is so punishing for Oceanus. That was a wild play from Flom. I'm amazed he wasn't punished there, but the haze of smokes and flashes and his teammates supporting him as well, it works out very nicely, and that aggressive play towards A ramp yields so much fruit for Mythic. Now it's going to be Wolfie. He's trying to do something here. He's trying to find a little bit of magic, but 1v5, he will take the first, but you can't imagine he gets much more. Poland playing a very dangerous game here, but he will eventually find the kill. Some spam from his teammates to assist, and the frag found for old Poland.
Yeah, that A aggression is such a staple of Vertigo nowadays, where it's kind of necessary to take that control early, or you will just give up that free bomb plant to your opposition. But right there, I mean, we've seen Oceanus having trouble with that A ramp on their CT side. Things have not changed now that the sides have flipped. Their defense looking a little lacking on A ramp, as was their offense. And Joel's already tagged down low, finished off by Calm, who picked up the op. Double op set up Calm and Flom with Kriegs across the rest of the board. Poland goes down to Tensky, but Flom is right there from the trade from Yellow. Katie getting tagged down, a good flash. She'll peek in, but Kohler is there for the trade. An up and jump up. ZNF is still biding his time. Rotations coming in. Calm, Flom. Calm been dealt with. A bomb plant coming in from Oceanus, but Flom will get one more. Make it a 1v2 here. There's a chance, but an op against 2 AKs. Oceanus would have to peek into him to really make it doable. Because right now this trade play is perfectly set up for Oceanus. Flom creeping in. Wolfie primed to take him down. And it will be a 6th on the board for Oceanus. They're not done yet. Mythic, though, have more than enough money to repurchase in this round. And the utility will be sorely lacking for at least Kohler on Oceanus. And Joel is actually limited to a MAC 10 in his own right. It's going to be a very interesting round.
I mean, at least they're going to get a chance to do something here, right? Like, I'm not prepared to say they're going to be able to make a comeback happen here. We'll talk when they hit double digits. But at this point, at least they can show their T side a little bit. They get a kill in towards mid. It's traded out equally, though, over from the B stairs. Katie will catch that frag. They've got some room to rumble. They've got a lot of real estate to work with. And look at this response from Mythic. Complete abandonment of A. That's a little bit concerning here. There's been no commitment either way from Oceanus. And they don't have information to operate off of, and you don't see anyone over towards A ramp, but that pick towards Flom might just bait them into these B steps. And that would play very nicely for what Mythic is trying to do. Problem is, no matter what Mythic is trying to do, they do need to kill people eventually, and that's just not working out. All the bodies will be dropped. Poland will get one more, but that's going to be just about it. Honestly, Mythic, I think, overplayed their hand there. They kept trying to retake an aggressive position down B stairs to confirm information, so they just kept losing players on those duels. And that's a bit concerning. Still, they've got a huge cushion to work with. Still 8 rounds. 8 attempts at this one round that they need. This time, it's just going to be with pistols. So Oceanus should at least be able to climb to 8 without too much difficulty. But it's a long road ahead of them yet.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there is 8 chances for Mythic, but Oceanus starting to look a little more promising on their T side. You wanted to see a little bit from them, and that's a good sign. You know, Mythic trying to get aggressive there shows they don't really have much else to play with up in their back pocket, so just walk into Oceanus trying to get those trades, and instead Oceanus are still heavy hitters, and they're winning those aim duels. That initial peak on the Flom, I think, was spectacular. And that's kind of what opened things up for Oceanus, is they open up the round here with the opening kill onto Flom. ZNF should be soon to follow if Tensky peeks in. Joel's will swing in. Tensky's taking out ZNF. And Joel's actually might get caught here. A little overzealous and through the smoke. Katie with the flick will end his time in the server for this round. Still calm and Katie last alive. Don't think there's much more that Mythic can do in this round, but Oceanus finding their stride. Is it too little too late? This is a very T-sided map. There is a chance for Oceanus, and if they can continue building this confidence here, there's a lot of promise for them moving forward. Com actually might be trying to save a gun here, but he's already bailed in towards mid. And he'll get caught by Kohler on the flank. Almost taking him down. Yeah.
3 health. He almost had it there. I mean, you got to give it to him. It's a little respect. You got to try that. Go for the headshot. See if you can't get a rifle and sneak it away. It's really the only thing worth doing in that round. Yeah. But, I mean, this is starting to look promising for Oceanus. You're very much correct. 15-8. We're starting to get the whispers that this is a possibility. I'm maintaining my personal line of double digits before I really respect the potential of the comeback here. This round, not going to be great for Mythic. They don't have the ult for Flom. They're not going to have a kit either. Oh, goodness. They nearly give up a frag immediately. Katie getting a little bit aggressive, trying to get the info peaks. Fortunately for her, she's not tagged at all. So that info jump will actually work out exactly as planned and bring a second player over to reinforce. It seemed like it was going to be a fast play up the B stairs here for Oceanus. And that at least is going to be it slowed for a moment. And that's quite fortunate for Mythic, as I think Katie likely would have gotten steamrolled there one way or another, even if she took some frags, and might have just been a punt of a round from the beginning.
Wait, if you look at Flom, he's all the way pushed up towards yellow. Mythic has the information that it has to be a B hit here. Kohler gets taken down with a great flash from ZNF. Opening kill going the way of Mythic. Oceanus trying to get the trades, but it's Katie to lock things down. 3v3, Melio and Tensky both very low. Wolfie has the op, but he's the only player with health to fight here. The bomb finally goes down, but ZNF is here to punish. Wolfie with the trade once again. It's a 2v2, Calm and Flom, the rhyming duo, but Wolfie has been dealt with by Flom from the ramp. Tensky from behind the boxes should be soon to follow. Gets a nice one shot, but Flom will clean it up in the end, and Mythic will once again take Vertigo by a score of 16-8 here in the Mountain Dew League. Got a little messy there for a second, but they were able to close it out in the end. 15-5 ends at 16-8.
Nice little detail there right at the end. The way Wolfie was holding, right, he's anticipating that play to jump up, and Calm actually did hop down and give an audio cue, which focused the opera's attention right on him. What that allows is that allows Flom space to slide out and find the frag, and so then ultimately they can work as a duo for that last player on towards site. So that's a nice little piece of team play from Mythic just to end up the show. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to see more of the T side from Oceanus. There was some promising factors there, and I think if they hadn't dug themselves into such a pit initially off the back of that first half and then losing the pistol round, we might have seen some more from them yet. But we will get another chance to see something from them tonight. They will be playing our last game of the night. In the meantime, we've got another Mythic matchup on our hands as they'll be taking on Infinity Esports. You're watching the ESEA Mountain Dew League, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is game fuel. It's domination in a can. Oh, tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
I'm safe only, even though we burn from the light I bleed. Did she bring me back? Not a heart attack could take away all the love I had for you. It bleeds for you, it bleeds again. Oh, you bring me to life. Oh, you bring me to life. Oh, you bring me to life. Oh, you
myself today trying to make the pain go away. Sarah, I want to fade away, be with the stars in outer space. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my leave for the melancholy. Codeine fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Oceanus till I know my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah, why you leaving me? You know you're killing me now. Sarah, I lost myself today trying to find ways to make you stay. Sarah, I want to go away, close my eyes, never wake up again. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my leave for the melancholy. Codeine fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Oceanus till I know my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah, why you leaving me?
Cause you know like I know we'll take it round and round. y'all blow up. Doing talent shows and man, everyone will show up. Got in an accident and still made it for them to go nuts. You know what? I'm so what? I'm so That means I can't describe the way I vibe, the way I slide. And with the rhymes that make the dimes, I'll close their eyes and fantasize. I'm divine calling their phone number. No, you know I love you. And you know me, I can't sleep without blazing beats. On stages for that one's gracefully. And I got a smile that they hate to see. Young, black, successful, don't life get stressful. Don't life get stressful, go and vibe out with whoever you next to.
Live until the morning, sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move. We move, we move, bringing summer to you.
Ready, let's go, 'cause you know how we roll. Let's take it down the world and back again. Ready, let's go, 'cause you know like I know. We'll take it round and round again.
We're so far from close. It's so hard to find my destiny. Try not to drift apart, 'cause you'll be right back at the start. And I don't wanna keep on falling. I gotta stay recalling memories we've lost and found. Explain to me what it's all about.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the ESEA Mountain Dew League. We've got our second game on the docket. It is our second serving of Mythic Reborn. This time they're taking on Infinity, the players from, I think they're Central and South America right now, ping-wise, per my understanding of how ping works. But we are going to have a chance for them to get something going here. They're going to be playing on Dust 2. It's been a rough start to the season for Infinity. They're 0-2 right now. We'll see if they can change their fortunes, taking on the current top dog in the MDL. I'm still Darth Mike. This is still Boggs. Boggs, what are you expecting from this one?
Well, looking back at Infinity's history on Dust 2, they had a loss in the minor qualifier to Brazen, a team consisting of Grape, Chop, and Mata as notable names. 16-14 on this very map, and just off of that alone, I have to favor Mythic in this game. Infinity, though, they do have some very good aimers on their roster. Guys like Malbs, Sam A, Spamsy. You can pretty much expect anybody on Infinity to have a good game, but I'm looking at Malbs particularly to pop off here and show what he is made of. A guy who has so much potential. And a map like it does too, an aim-centric map, is a map for him to shine on. And it all starts with the opening pistol round for Infinity. They're all grouped up in B. This is a chance to overwhelm the lone defender of ZNF. He has no utility, but he does have a couple players in mid to help him defend. Already, Calm's going to be rotating in, and he's going to open things up with a double. ZNF falls without getting anything. Flom will answer with one of his own. Spamsy will get a trade, but right now it's just Davies and Sam A to try and hold it. Sam A and Davies both getting 2 kills, leaving it all onto Katie, who's been dinked down. And now, in the brink of despair, Infinity are able to pull it back with Sam A and Davies tapping away with the Glocks. Mythic Reborn have been walled out of B's sight, and Infinity, despite the poor start, were able to win this round.
That's problematic. That's concerning. That was a 4v2 with health on all of your remaining players against Glocks, right? That's not ideal to have given that away. And it really just turned in the blink of an eye. They started to make individual plays. I think they could feel it slipping through their fingers. Okay, Flom, take a seat. Flom is just not having a great start to this map. At the beginning of last round, he got a bullet from, I think, Calm, his teammate, in the back of the head. That definitely didn't feel great. And now he just gets scouted trying to cross on towards B. That's definitely not going to be making him feel healthy early on here. This smoke game, you can see Mobs is just going to be watching for it, knowing that Calm likes to get aggressive through these long doors. The last time we watched Mythic on Dust 2, there were some really concerning factors for them. In particular, it just felt like on the CT side, they didn't have a great feel for pressure and when to go for aggressive plays. They wanted to go out long doors frequently. They made frequent bare naked pushes through the mid side, and it got risky. We'll see if they've patched it up, if they figured it out. That's a shot through the door again. Davies with the scout is unreal right now. He's just kind of cleaning it up, and the bodies are dropping one after another. Calm, the man pushing back around from long, is going to be the last one to do it. You can see from that flashbang, they've got a pretty good idea he might be here. Bomb's going to be planted towards the B bomb site. Maybe Calm can savage a weapon from Spamsy if it's been dropped somewhere that's accessible. Not quite sure where he went down, but chances are going to be slim to none that he actually has a chance to win this round.
There are some low players on Infinity. Sam A down to 6, Kinky and Davies at half HP. But like you said, I don't think there's much of a chance for Calm in this round. Infinity, thanks to Davies once again, who gets his second double of the game. Looking primed to take a second round in a row. Keeping their rifles into this round, although I think Davies is going to stay on the scout, and rightly so. 2 scout headshots through doors. 1 through mid and 1 to B. And if he can continue that form with the scout and then move it up to the op, he'll be a very dangerous player to deal with for Mythic. Flom's going to have to hard counter with the big green gun in his own hands. Calm will be able to save armor and CZ, so we'll have a little something to work with in round number 3. But Mythic should be relatively broken this round. Not much invested into it. Maybe some light pistols and a smoke, nade, flashbang if they want to go for a stack towards A long, try and get an early pick thanks to that utility. But it looks like they'll go instead for the saved smokes on Calm, and then a smoke and a flashbang picked up by Poland. Did go for KDP2 on Poland. And a long stack is going to be their play. 4 players aggressive, 1 towards car, 3 towards the corner. 2 from Infinity working their way up catwalk with Kinky holding out towards long door. That long play has faded away, Frank, and I think it might just be a free catwalk for Infinity. Actually, never mind. They're going to go back, but Sam A taps away. 1 opening kill, gets the second. Malbs has fallen to ZNF, but now this could be the audible to head back to B, where just Calm waits for the push.
There's the change. Oh, nice frag found for ZNF. That's going to get him a rifle to work with, an AK to boot. That honestly might be worth saving. He's going to dump it down. It was maybe meant to go for Poland, but Poland's already out of the neighborhood. He actually gets a second rifle. He's just hoarding them for his teammates, and here we go. Here's the hit. The pistol's working well for now, trying to save Calm, but Poland reloading, couldn't swing to save his teammate. Might have been able to find the kill on the low Spamsy if he had, and instead he's going to lose his life to a nade. So a little bit of a misplay there, just in terms of not having enough bullets at the right situation to have the impact that he possibly could have. Now it's all left to ZNF, and there's a big logic that says, you know what, save the one-shot headshot gun instead of trying to push out onto a site without armor. He's got the rifle. Normally, if he had armor in this situation, you say, whatever, go for it. It's a not low percentage play, but the problem is you can see the ankle Kinky's holding. If he goes out this tunnel, he's going to be ripped apart. Without a kit, he's got to move now if he's going to do it. I think he's going to be dead right as soon as he rounds this corner. Kinky, though, looks away at much the wrong time. There's the spot. Now he knows. Molly's going to go in, maybe a little bit too late. Maybe he can hold him in long enough to get blown up by the bomb. And he's actually going to try and swing. Oh, thinks better of it. He's going to go ahead and get out towards spawn, get this rifle saved, have the AK going forward. They will survive with 2 Infinity, but losing the AK, losing a bit of life, it's a bit more expensive than maybe was necessary.
Yeah, it might have been a bit of an expensive round for Infinity, but all things concerned, I think they're pretty happy with the 3-0 start. Mythic going for their full investment now, but there's Kriegs in the hands of Infinity. Davies has dropped the scout in favor of the big green gun. And if he can replicate his scout performances with the op, it'll be very much more dangerous for Mythic to deal with. Sam A on the Krieg has spammed ZNF through the door. And the B split is wide open. Smoke's going down. Molly's to block off the corner and the boost. Flom trying to make it up, but he's getting ticked by the Molotov. Sam A knows he's here. Malbs might catch Poland, or Poland might sideswipe him. Malbs clearing in, will spray away, eventually get the kill. That's the B site open. Save call has to be made by Mythic, as B site retakes against 5 remaining Ts. Is one of the most lowest percentage retakes in the game of Counter-Strike. Sam A is going to hold in mid, try and pick off some lurks, some exits potentially, but should be the 4-0 start for Infinity, and a fantastic start for their Dust too.
It absolutely is, and we have to consider, of course, that they are playing with that ping disadvantage. It's not catastrophic. It's not like it is for Team 1 right now playing from Brazil, where they're sitting at like 150. This roster is pretty much all playing with about, I'd say somewhere in the range of 60 to 80 ping, except for Kinky, who I guess is either in the US or very close to it. So it's not catastrophic, and you can see they're still able to take game fights and able to have some success with those. Look at Comp Spot. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're right here. He reveals his position. I don't know that was worth it, but okay. Decided to try and get the frag. Was going to try and go for a bit more. Honestly think if he just played hide and seek and tried to stay alive there for as long as possible and get a frag maybe right as time is expiring, that might have been the move. Overplays his hand just a bit, tries to go for it, and punished for his overconfidence, for his zealotry. There we go. That's a good word. Zealousness is also a word. Zealotry is just more fun to say.
With a little more fun of a connotation right now. Calm will be back on an M4. Spamsy has spammed him into oblivion. Katie will trade, and fire damage has taken Spamsy down to the brink of despair. Flom will pick up the double, looking for more. And Infinity have been sent to infinity and beyond, with just Sam A and Davies last alive. A rough round here as Mythic trying to storm back into this one. Mid-rotation from ZNF is the right call. He'll do some damage to Sam, who will be joined by Davies on this initial take. But now the CT side have potential for AKs and Kriegs. That can make a Dust 2 CT defense extremely dangerous. And Sam A should not be long for this world. Indeed, he is not, as ZNF will crouch on out, or strafe on out rather, and take him down, leaving Davies in a 1v4. Plenty of utility, an op in hand. If he gets the kill on the Flom and Car, he could get the bomb down at the very least.
He could indeed. He's not going to commit a smoke to it. He should be dead. Flom misses that shot. That's a big problem now. This bomb will absolutely be planted. They do not have the potential to deny it. He's going to go ahead and smoke to give himself the safest plant, and actually the time he spent dropping utility is going to end his life. The bomb still does go down, and frankly, that's a pretty miraculous result considering how little he had to work with. But it is going to be the first round on the board for Mythic, and I think they're more than happy with that, especially keeping 4 alive, giving a nice stimulus package to their economy, winning that duel out towards long. What I will say is that was a really risky way to play that mid fight, or that long fight rather, right? They had Flom just playing on the edge of smoke, getting super frisky with the op, and no one quite figured out where he was playing from. And so he managed to find the kills, but I don't know that that's always going to be the case. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. If they continue to get really aggressive on that long fight, even if it starts to go against them, we'll see if Mythic can continue to come out on top.
That's the thing about Modern Dust 2, though, is you have that long brawl play that everyone kind of has to make. It's a 50-50 coin flip. Chain flashes over, throw some nades and Molotovs and smokes, and hope things hit, hope you get the kills. It's really not a set thing for that long take, and that's kind of why you have to have 3 players positioned towards long. Opening up the B skybox has kind of made people think you need to put 2 on B. But as it stands, no real team has set up much for that open skybox on B as of now. We really haven't seen any ingenuity there. I would like to see that coming through soon, as the open skybox has been in the game for a decent amount of time now.
As I recall, so the last time we watched a Mythic Dust 2 game, they were playing against Chaos, and as I recall, Chaos was actually using that open skybox to their benefit a fair amount in terms of throwing their take nades, if you will. But as of yet, it doesn't seem like we're going to see too much from Infinity. Admittedly, we haven't seen a really heavy utility-intensive take on towards the B bomb site yet, so that might be up their sleeve. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Flom going to go for a really bold peek this time towards Catwalk. He's never one to be cowed. And we'll see if he can get this one pick and fade away. Pretty great. They're going to go for a run boost, actually, to check him. Love this. Here's the flash out. He's not going to know that Malbs is already passed. He gets dinked. Survives, though. That must have been through the wall. So he will be able to slip away, and that's, frankly, a great result for Flom. Get the one kill, fade away. No problem, no concern, no chance for a trade for Infinity, and I think they're pretty disappointed that that cheeky setup didn't quite work out.
Yeah, I think they have a right to be disappointed. Infinity, the run boost does not pan out. Flom instead waiting, playing passive. That Molotov should just about burn him alive. And Kinky holding the rotation can eliminate Calm. It's flipped to a man advantage for Infinity. They get the bomb down. Rotations are here. There's one in pit. ZNF, though, coming in through elevator has been dealt with. And Poland has been spotted and tagged toward mid. And it looks like Infinity might be striking back here, forcing Mythic onto a save unless Katie can pick off some heads. She's creeping forward with the Krieg in hand, but Poland's already failed, leaving her all alone. And Katie will not be able to pick off anybody from Infinity. They'll be the ones to keep 4 alive, and no guns saved at all for Mythic, as Kinky does the deed, getting 2 kills on the rotate, on the lurk. Fantastic stuff. Sam A as well. 9 and 3 to start things off here. All 3 kills to open up A. And that's what you want to see from Infinity, is that answer back.
Absolutely. They're gonna force Mythic to empty their pockets, right? They did have a little bit of extra cash to play with by virtue of keeping 4 alive in the round that they won, but this is going to be the end of it, and Calm's already been dropped. This long aggression early on has not worked out. Calm's having a rough go of it again. He also had a rough go of it the last time we saw them on Dust 2, so clearly not a map he's super comfortable on, and he's been the heavy performer for this team so far this season, so that's definitely not ideal for Mythic. Definitely concerning. So Infinity once again have themselves an advantage, and you can see they're just kind of hanging on it. They're saying, you know what, we've got long control. We've got a pretty good setup towards long as well if they try and take it back. And if you'll think back to the last time there was a big long fight, there was a lot of aggression from Mythic to try and retake that hold. And so they'll just chill. They'll chill in their default for a little while, let some time bleed off the clock, make sure no one's getting too hasty anywhere on the map, and then figure out what they want to do. And it seems like take up long and take a bomb site is the new plan. Katie will be in position. Flom will be able to fast play back from Catwalk as well with this Optus support. So it could be a firing range if Flom gets around in time. And as they throw smokes, that does tip it off. A lot of utility's been dumped. There's a lot of indication, strong indication. And there's a gap just to the right of those cross smokes. Never mind. It's been covered off. This should be rock solid on the take. It's really going to be up to Katie to have major impact to shut this down. She finds one. She's looking for more. She's got it as well. Manages to slip back behind the boxes. Well played by Katie. Amalian is going to force her into the fight. She will eventually lose her life, but she may have just done enough as Flom strikes back as well. Even numbers now. Not a bad situation, but it seems like they both want to re-aggress towards mid. Flom abandons his catwalk position to instead play down, and that might just work, but missing a shot. That's suboptimal. He is going to distract their focus long enough that they don't remember the fact that Poland's still a threat, and he's out towards long, and Poland will be the hammer to shut it all down. Drives the nail in, survives the double op, and claims the round.
Yeah, Flom might have missed a pretty crucial shot, but instead it works as a bit of a decoy grenade, as Poland was allowed to walk out long and get 2 free kills, securing the round for Mythic. But Katie's double from sight was, I think, the linchpin in that defense. Getting the second kill was what secured the round essentially for Mythic. Flom's kill also necessary. But here comes Calm. He's going to get one. Flom will get another. Davies has gotten a trade, but Calm is not done just yet. He goes 2 for 3. It's taken down in the end by Spamsy. But still, the initial numbers are favoring Mythic. The double op setup is still in effect. Poland has it out towards mid. Malbs will try and swing. He'll win that duel clean. And now he'll try and rotate towards Cat, but Flom is going to aggress in his own right. You said don't be hasty. I think Flom is going to be hasty, and he's going to win that fight.
They're so aggressive in trying to retake map control. It's very risky. Mythic is playing a very high-risk, high-reward brand of Dust 2 Counter-Strike. There's no conservative calls from them. I mean, apart from that one round where we saw them save, and then even then there was a little bit of last-minute peeking, it's hyper-aggressive all the way around, taking the fights, taking back control. This time it works out very nicely for them, and Flom does take matters into his own hands. The problem is they've given up that B bomb site for free. Spamsy's going to find this. They're completely segmented over towards A. This is because Spamsy won that fight in towards mid that gives him this opportunity, and he's so cautious about it. He might just play himself. Oh no, look at this. It's a double reverse. It's a fake. He's gone through the mid smoke. He knows they're going to think about going towards B, but they haven't bought on it either. Flom's coming back this direction. This is so chaotic. If Spamsy hits this quick shot, he's going to have a plant before they have a chance to respond, and Flom, having checked it, thinks that it's all clear. He's bailing out. They're headed towards B. Meanwhile, the bomb plant's going to come in completely uncontested. 15 seconds, but that's plenty of time. Spamsy a bit paranoid about that catwalk peak, but now the bomb will go down, and they should promptly realize, hey, we chose the wrong site. Whoopsies.
Yeah, Mythic big brain themselves there. Flom doesn't peek into CT, tries to play it safe, peeks onto site, but there's nothing given up there by Spamsy. He was waiting for it because Flom made all that noise. Now it will be a 2v1 retake. The flash through CT will cue Spamsy into one's position. Flom's making a lot of noise rushing up, but Spamsy will get caught unless he can win the first duel. And now he knows where Flom is, running around the site, but Flom jumping up on the railing will be able to spray Spamsy into the dirt. And now Flom, with just enough time on the clock to get the defuse, has won the clutch and won the day for Mythic. They cut the deficit to 2 rounds, and despite the bomb plant, Infinity will not have enough for a buy here. They can get light pistols, some utility, but it should be a 4th on the board for Mythic. And on a T-sided map like Dust 2, that's a massive victory. And Infinity are going for a very risky play. Mythic might be going for aggression on the retaking of map control, but Infinity are going even more so on their purchases, going for the full investment here, despite not having a single AK or a Krieg. I guess they're going to bank on Davies' Scout and Spamsy's Galil. Malbs in the Mac 10, pistols on Samay and Kinky, but this is an extremely risky call for Infinity, and that nade is going to make things all the harder.
That's a meaty nade. Chonky. And they are going to hit this site. There's 2 players to defend. We'll see how blinded up they are. Throwing a bunch of utility to make this happen. ZNF with a nice flash to try and keep his teammate alive. ZNF, though, has to get the kills. They're combining well for it. The bomb's been toppled at this point, but it was going to be committed regardless. Problem is the bodies are dropping, and the pistol may just be enough. ZNF uncomfortable to get a new magazine in the clip, but he's got teammates instead. Who needs a gun when you've got friends? Spamsy, Sam A. Okay, how does that get so risky? Sam A literally walked out smoke, had a player looking his direction, and somehow won the duel. Got the 1 tap. That's a little wonky, a little bit crazy, but ultimately Mythic will survive. That was expensive. Fortunately for them, they should have an eco on the other side of this, and I suppose all's well that ends well. That was chaos.
Chaos indeed for both teams. Infinity fail their goal of a bomb plant, and Mythic, it's a very costly round, losing 3 members of their squad. The deco now for Infinity, no armor, a flashbang, 4 of the hand cannons purchased up. Flash out middle, ZNF might get caught, but instead he will get a trade. Malbs will be able to finish off the D that Kinky started, but it still does seem to favor Mythic as they have the firepower. They have 2 kits, they lack utility, but up against Deagle's no armor, they still should be winning the day with relatively few casualties. Although if Infinity can pick off 1, maybe 2 more players, that could be another extremely expensive round for Mythic, putting them onto a couple SMGs or a FAMAS into the next round with another lack of utility. And then that favors into the T-sided economy. It's going to be a swarm-up catwalk, everybody charging up through elbow. Sam A taking a massive amount of damage. Katie will eventually bag 1. Looking for a double is going to be Calm. Sam A will get the kill onto Katie, though. Calm will eventually trade, so 2 more kills go the way of Infinity. And the bomb plant comes through, so overall a very successful deco. Mythic will tie it up, but it does come at a great cost, their loss of life.
100%. Considering what they brought into this round, that's a great round for Infinity. Look at what they've got to work with now. They can get the AWP up. They're going to have a ton of utility as well. They're going to be able to bully, and meanwhile, they're continuing to keep Mythic's economy on the ropes. No op will be available. It's not even an option to go for. So they're going to be sticking to those rifles. Flom not going to have the big green gun, which we've been seeing him have a fair amount of impact with. Honestly, one thing I wanted to remark earlier on, he kind of quieted down these last 2 rounds. Flom's playing like a madman. He's playing like hyper-aggressive. It's working. But he's looking fierce. This time it's going to be ZNF, who's got 1 and a little bit more. It's going to be followed up by Katie, who's taking the position in towards CT. And Flom, again, playing like a madman, going to come flying out catwalk. Already have control in towards under. He's going to be moving in the tunnels, trying to flank this out immediately. And Davies knows he has to respect it. This spam will actually give his position away. The Tracer's leading to a 1v1 now. Davies blind, but Calm stuck in the smoke. Is looking the wrong direction. He has no idea. Fortunately, he realizes before Davies does. The round will be won, but oh my gosh, that looked chaotic. Chaos is, I think, the best way to describe what's happening between these 2 teams right now. Boggs, I mean, it is just madness on every take, on every hit. Mythic, despite having good setups, despite being prepared, despite taking the initial engagement, it seems like once the side hit comes through, everything is up in the air.
Honestly, it's utter anarchy out there with both teams charging through smokes, flashbangs, doesn't matter. They're going for kills in whatever way they can, seizing whatever opportunities, whether or not they have the sniper to go back to Flom. He goes for aggression there with the M4, does his job, buys some time. But still, that got very messy for Mythic and almost went the other way. Unlucky for Infinity not to win that round, truly. As Calm caught the opera looking the wrong way. Just both teams, neither one really having much control, rather relying on amazing individual play and kind of luck of the draw, timing and so on, for their actual round victories instead of relying on strategy and skill. And that kind of is just the epitome of a map like Dust 2.
That's true. It's definitely true.
Holy Flom going for the second!
That's amazing. Bomb now committed as well. They can use Molotovs to block it off. They're going to send a player through the molly, but that just leads them to the slaughter. Flom, honestly, if he was prepared, he might have gotten the fourth. They know they're there. It's a massacre! And they're going to take all of the heads. Flom, the only one to lose his own on the other side, and that just became Catwalk as a battleground. Everything faltered. Everything went down, and Mythic come out on top. They've got 7 rounds now on their CT side of Dust 2, and this is looking very good for them. Right, the last time they played this map, they wound up with an 11-4, where they were the 4 after their CT side, and they still managed to battle it back to make it respectable. So now at this point, having already taken 7 sides on what most would consider be the unfavorable half, they're looking pretty solid, and they're looking like they might just do more. Just pistols, bit of utility behind it for Infinity. We're going to be trying to get themselves towards a bomb plant. They've had a pretty good track record of planting that bomb, at least.
What?
Okay, mobs, full blind, just going to find the right time to click. That one's... that is the definition of a lucky frag, but hey, you'll take them however you can get them. Problem is, this is a little less lucky for Davies. He's going to have to try and get out the door. At least he's got a rifle here, but no armor, and the bomb dropped means that he should, by all rights, be dead. And indeed, it will be Flom to put the nail in his coffin to secure at least the half victory for Mythic, and possibly much more behind it.
That kill from Mulbs, I think he might have spotted the door cross before the flashbang pop, but
sure,
irregardless of that fact, that is...
He didn't have the lineup, though, and the players were both still moving, I think. So that was... that's nuts. The fact that he got that kill is nuts, and obviously he knows the lineup just innately. That muscle memory is 100% there. I don't mean to take it away from Mulbs, but speaking of taking it away, Flom might just take away the round. Never mind, the answer back has been even better. 2 bodies dropped. Once again, they try and commit aggressively to this long fight, and after getting the initial victory, they don't fade away, and it comes back to punish them. So now you've got an opportunity for Infinity. They can slow things down. They've got even numbers. They've got some control here in towards the pit. They can leave a player here, rotate off, and then see what they will do. Instead, it's going to be Sam A inching forward, wants to take this ground, wants to take this opportunity. They trying to... I'm not sure what he was looking for there. I almost thought he was trying to get the op. It's a little strange.
He was.
He's very exposed if he does go and try and retrieve that rifle. Now, Katie's going to come back to check. This could be very dangerous indeed. Oh, Katie. Krieg's on the other side. You really don't want to take that peek. Yes, information is valuable, but so is your life. That nade's going to be quite effective. Does a big amount of chunk up damage. Now they're getting mowed down, and it's clean. Those 3 players win their fights, and ultimately this comes out very solidly in the pocket of Mythic. And now this is a 9 rounds on CT side. Mythic are looking quite nice. The individual rounds, they've been messy. They've been pretty wild. But at the end of the day, you're stacking up numbers. That's all that matters.
Yeah, indeed. This is a string of 8 rounds in a row, potentially 9 for Mythic if they make it a 10-5 half. This would be a magnificent CT side going on to the favored offense of Dust 2. With Mythic in the full driver's seat, no Kriegs for Infinity in this last round. Their utility sorely lacking. And Poland might start to get aggressive over towards B. There's ZNF to throw utility for him. It's all coming crashing down for Infinity, with every single lifeline being wiped away. Whenever they get something even, it's just stolen away by Mythic once again.
One thing I'd like to point out here that's kind of a nice note. Katie, at this point, which may change this round, has about as much utility damage as the rest of the server. Calm going to be dug out in towards Pit. He falters, loses his life. And now see what they can do. A man advantage, not a lot of utility to play with behind it. They've got 2 smokes, so they can throw cross smokes if they do want to take this long take, but that's all they got. No mollies to clear Gandalf, no mollies to clear Goose, no smokes for the site itself. They've even thrown one of those smokes and not operated off the back of it, so now they have 1 smoke. 1 smoke for this execute. Yes, they have numbers, but I really don't fancy their chances here. Flom gonna just peek out. He finds 1. He's looking for more. Davies might catch him here. Oh, blinded up. Still does the damage. This is getting so crazy. And Davies will find the frag through mid. I have no idea how he survived there. He was full blind, but he is going to make it work. And now it's left to Katie to be guardian of her site. Will find 1. Can't get the second, though. Loses her own life, and this is getting risky indeed for Mythic. ZNF alive in a 1v3, trying to retake this. There's no sense in saving for sure. With 15 seconds on the clock, it will be enough time for Infinity to get that bomb down. DNF inching forward. At least for the moment, he's safe. But as soon as he rounds this corner, he should, by all accounts, be a dead man. It'll be Spamsy to finish him off. Catches him as he swings. It's going to be 6-9 at the half. Pretty strong half for Mythic, I would say. But there's definitely still hope here for Infinity. It's slim. It's definitely going to be a rough road for them. But they can get back into this.
Yeah, no question Infinity can get back in this. I mean, they're a team with plenty of aim, some great opping from Davies early on. Sam A can also pick it up. Pretty much anybody on Infinity can have a round, as we've seen. And Mythic definitely will need to rely on some great individual performances once again. If they were able to take aggression that well on the CT side of Dust 2, I'm expecting something better from them on T side, where aggression is the name of the game. And I'm also interested to see what they can do as far as opening up B is concerned, even if they even have to open up B. We saw Infinity run a lot of plays out mid and a lot of plays up cat, not much towards the B site. I'd like to see a little more diversity from Mythic's strat book than Infinity showed, and see them try and work around the map and try and keep Infinity on their toes. If you can keep 2 players on the B site, it's going to open up the whole entire other portion of the map for you. You have some utility going in towards mid. It's going to keep those players locked in. So you only have to deal with 2 on A. So you have to deal with 1 on long, 1 on cat, or 1 on site, 1 up cat, or even the double up long set. It's a lot easier to deal with those setups rather than having a 3-person long setup, that long brawl. So I think a lot of that's going to come down to how Mythic can play the early gun rounds.
Sure. On a completely different note, you know, one thing I've noticed about my own speech, my own casting?
You've been making a lot of great op puns, if that's what your point is.
Well, that's good. No, but that's always been the case. No, there's a certain thing that's been infecting my speech patterns. It's been trickling in. I'm dating a Midwesterner now, somewhat of Midwestern origin, and she's wonderful, but she's definitely infected my speech with the phrase "oh goodness." I've noticed it's creeping in. It's creeping in. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's starting to leak into my casting now, and that has me a bit concerned here. So we'll see. Apparently, Midwestern affectations are contagious. Looking a little dangerous, as is Davies in the back of sight. He is going to get tapped down eventually. Did find a frag there, and actually his teammate chimed in with one of his own. So they're trying to get this bomb planted, but they need to move pretty quickly. Otherwise, this is going to be a problem. This could be very dangerous indeed. Sam A going to catch Poland, who had the bomb. And so now this is a tough spot. There's only 1 player on site, and he can't dare move because he knows they got vision through the door. And as soon as he goes off of this spot, they're going to punish him one way or another. Meanwhile, his teammates trying to clear out tunnels. Finds Spamsy there. Is going to have to win this duel. That's Flom, who has to take this frag. Otherwise, they've got no chance of grouping up in the first place. Calm has at least worked his way over towards the bomb. Has a chance to find the first. He's looking for 2. He's looking for more. But it's only so much work that can be done. Eventually, the hail of bullets on the other side does connect with his dome and does take him down. And it will be a 7th round for Infinity, and that is a great way to get started. Off the back of that pistol, they may just be able to shrink this gap and bring us to a tied line. And no bomb plant as well means, despite this being a force for Mythic, it's a pretty mediocre force.
Yeah, they still have a Galil, they have a Scout, and it will get a tag on the Malbs. Takes him down to 62 points of health. But Deagle's in the hands of the rest of the Mythic squad, and that nade from Spamsy having potential to do some damage. And in fact, it actually goes between just about everybody and does nothing at all. There's so much presence mid from Mythic right now, though. Infinity, though, making the right call, having the 3 stacked towards A. Davies with the Molotov out to slow the push. Has to keep kind of double duty here with 1 eye on Cat, the other down towards middle. So he can't exactly spare both of his eyes to either one angle. However, Sam's going to start to creep up through long doors, get some information. But Flom, if he can land the first shot onto Kinky, that would be a massive opening for Mythic here to give them room to work with, room to squirm around the map. They have pretty much all of tunnels controlled, mid on lock. The only thing they don't have is long doors, as Sam may very well get caught out in his own right on his aggression. Flom's going to keep creeping out. He spotted out Kinky from back ramp. Kinky Wise not going to go for the over-aggression here, waiting for more information. Not going to try and take isolated duels, and that is exactly why you don't want to face into a scout. It will do you dirty like that, Mike. And oh my goodness, I think Kinky's just about to get overwhelmed here.
Look at this flank, though. Sam A coming in at the right time, but he only gets one. He only finds one. Now the numbers are significantly in advantage of Mythic. And despite this lackluster force, despite not having the Kree that you sometimes hope for in that second round, demolished. Is Flom going to find that frag on Malbs trying to get up catwalk? Just annihilated close range. And that's 4 players surviving from that round from Mythic. 4 players. That's ridiculous, Austin. That should not be allowed to happen, even if they do eventually win it. You're hoping that they get through by a thread. Instead, they have 4 up. They're going to get 4 rifles through here. They're going to win that round to bolster their economy, and it's going to force out a force buy from Infinity, who recognize how rough of a position they've just put themselves in.
Indeed, it is going to force a force buy from the CT side, but Flom's raw aggression is doing so much work for Mythic, and Infinity have not found an answer to counter him. And look at, he's going for the mid peak again. He's going to spam Sam through the doors, 3 shots or 2 in a nade. Either way, Flom is just going for peaks whenever he so feels like it. And it seems right now that this is Flom's map, and Infinity are just playing on it, and they only get to play when he allows them. Malbs will win a duel after taking a massive amount of damage, but A site is completely abandoned by Infinity. Only Kinky up long doors. Everything else is free reign for Mythic to waltz on into sight. Bomb will go down again. And there's a very good possibility that Mythic could survive with 5 or 4 alive once more off the back of this anti-force.
I don't know that this retake is worth it. They're going to go for it. Obviously, there's even numbers, but there's no kit, there's no utility. They're going to take this fight catwalk. This should determine everything. Calm's going to get the first, but he's traded. But the problem is the second player falters, and now held at range. This is just so tough. They're going to continue to throw bodies into this, but there's no way they're going to get it through. And Davies does get 1, so fair play. Does some impact, does some damage, at least limits the growth of this economy, but I just don't know that that was worth it. If they had saved those 4 weapons, they would have at least had a fair amount to work with into this next round. As it is, they're going to be ecoing for pistols. Mythic presumably is going to be climbing onto 12 rounds here and putting in a pretty strong 5-round lead with rifles behind it with tons of utility. But the op, if you want it, Mythic is going to be in a really good spot.
I don't even think Infinity can get an op up in the next round either. Loss bonus will be 2,900, so maybe Spamsy can go for a glass cannon, but I don't think Infinity will have the luxury of that sniper on their CT side first gun round, which is going to be another huge chance for Mythic to just explode out once again. They've been doing this kind of damage with rifles. If they want, Flom can pick up an op in the next round, and that would just about decimate any sort of defense Infinity can put up. Sam Ayo somehow getting a kill from behind the car will eventually get traded out by Com, but for a minimal investment on a USP, that's not a bad start.
No, it's not. And they've devoted a ton of utility. They devoted 2 Molotovs and a nade to digging Sam A out of that spot, and he still manages to find a kill. So, a little bit troubling. The problem is they're not going to be able to do anything on the back of it. Killing Katie is one thing, but you've got a Malbs with no armor, 32 health, and a USP now to fight 4. So he's just going to try and be a little bit of a landmine here, a bouncing Betty to jump up and shoot somebody in their feet should they walk right on over him. But provided they don't come catwalk, there's going to be really nothing he can do in this round. Even Katie's rifle likely won't be retrievable, as they'll probably hold back from Pit and be watching it. So not much of a silver lining here for Malbs. He's going to poke out, see if he can't catch somebody. If he finds Poland, of all people, maybe with that 28 health, the USP is enough. He's going to find it. There we go. There's the damage. He at least keeps it a bit costly. ZNF, I don't know if he's close enough to get back to get that gun. He's not. So he'll stick with the FAMAS as opposed to the AK. But still, Mythic take the round. That's ultimately what matters. They're going to continue to build here. They'll have full rifles. They'll continue with this fast play. They'll have money in the bank in reserve as well. And this is a big round. This is a big round if you're Infinity. You've got to put your foot down here. You've got to make this happen. The pause comes in. I think they recognize it. They're going to recognize why this round matters so much. And a decision needs to be made. Davies can buy a kit. He can also invest in a bit more utility. For my money, go Kit.
I think you need at least one kit here. I think that could be partially what they're talking about in this timeout. But I do like this call to make the timeout here. This is, as you mentioned, an extremely important round for Infinity. They lose this here, Mythic it to 14. So it's very essential that Infinity are able to pick this round up. Ooh, that's risky. No kit. I guess they're going for full-on victory here, Mike, but that is a very risky call. It's a bold move, and I don't exactly expect it to pay off. Just raw aggression of Cap, though. This is a page out of Flom's playbook. It will yield a kill. The fadeaway is there, and Katie's actually going to fall to Sam A. Damage dealt to Calm, but A site is open. The bomb, however, is back towards Cat, and that is on lock by Infinity. However, Sam and Kinky both on Poland, and it's crumbling once again for Infinity as Calm has picked Davies out of the air towards CT. Malbs and Spamsy left in the 2v3, no kit. However, the bomb still not recovered for Mythic. Spamsy, if he walks into the crosshair, will meet his demise at the hands of Poland. And that is exactly as Poland has foreseen. Malbs now in a 1v3. He's a great player, but I think lack of a kit and positional advantage favoring Mythic highly. There's not much more he can do here. In fact, there is nothing he can do besides meet his maker. It will be a 13th for Mythic. The eco once more from Infinity.
That's rough. That's really quite rough. They had a big opportunity to shut that down. The two-man advantage early on. I mean, you could have done so much from that. They could have done so very much, but they can't hold on to the lead. They can't secure it. And it really comes down to the play from Poland. He had a brilliant little read and very strong play in that spray transfer. And now it's Pistols again to try and deny round number 14. Really tough road ahead of them. Mythic just, again, having a field day, making this their playground, really feeling dust too this time around. Sam A, he's back behind the car again. They're raining utility on him once more. That nade's going to find him. He's so low, and they know he likes to play this spot. Clearly, he's just trying to dig this out as long as he can. They don't know he's still here just because he survived the span for so long, but it's ultimately only going to result in one frag. Now, bomb will be planted. Maybe Mobs gets one further, but he shouldn't be allowed anymore, and indeed, Calm will shut him down. That will be round number 14 for Mythic. So at this point, they built themselves a 7-round lead. They've doubled their opponent's scoreline. They've got the money. They've got the weapons. They've got everything you could possibly want to seal the deal here. They're on the favorite side. There's just no issues here. And one thing that's interesting to me, Boggs, is we really haven't seen them play much on towards B. They've really been going for these cap plays and these straightforward long plays and not been going for that sort of rapid B-side aggression that you see so often out from T-sides on this map.
Yeah, I mean, there's really been no need to mix things up for Mythic. They've been winning duels left, right, and center. And speaking of up the center, it's going to be ZNF this time to charge up Catwalk, holding W, spraying down with Mouse 1. Davies and Sam A, his victims. He's clearing long from A site. Kinky removed in the pits. Calm will eventually find him. ZNF will go for the quad, taking out the 2 in CT. And Mythic Reborn with 8 chances to close this one out, and Infinity with a meager buy upcoming to try and salvage this game. Mythic Reborn on pace for an 8-1 start here in Mountain Dew League.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a great night for them. It's feeling like a continued great night. In that situation, there was no one watching Cat. Look, I understand running 3 players up long for one initial aggressive fight, but as soon as you don't find all the players there, you better be looking. You better be checking your back because there's likely somebody pushing Catwalk. This is going to be an advantage, though. Once again, they go for that long aggression. This time, they find bodies here. So Infinity get themselves an advantage. We've seen them lose with advantages before, though, so it's definitely not a sure thing at this point. They're still very limited. No kit, little utility. Spamsy's head popped like an overripe watermelon. And now all of the pressure in the world on Mobs. I was remarking on how they really haven't gone for plays on towards B. Well, now we're going to see them make one, and it will not work. 2 players, mowed down. Mobs holds strong. Mobs makes this happen. In Infinity, it's a little late into the game. They finally arrived on their own CT side.
Better late than never, but is it enough at this point? You need 7 in a row to bring to overtime. They've got the first, but there's more to find. There's more work to do for Infinity. Davies has the op once again. There are 2 kits in play and a smattering of utility. No lack of it for the CT side. However, the same could be said for Mythic, who have a very strong economy with 3 players still over 4K. And then Vom is still in that buy territory as well. But the B hit coming in once again from Mythic. Spamsy goes through the doors, goes down. Calm with a great flash assist from ZNF will eliminate Malbs, the last defense on site. Sam A through the boost and through the smoke will get ZNF in return. The bomb has gone down on B. It's a 3v3 retake on the hardest site in Counter-Strike to attempt this retake from a CT side. And out towards middle is going to be Calm. He can catch Infinity with their pants down. A collective 3K spray potential for him. This doesn't look well for Infinity. This bodes very poorly.
Indeed, and now that they're actually throwing the utility, that's going to bait him through the door, so he's going to be coming in, and they're faster to the site, and this is actually the right response because it minimizes the ability for Calm to have impact. The problem is the bomb's ticking down, so all he has to do is spray down the diffuser. He realizes he's on it, he tries to go for the flick, nearly finds it, which that likely would have won it for them, but just in time, Sam A saves his teammate's life, gets the shot, retrieves the double up, and keeps them alive. So Calm got 1 flick onto that player diffusing. If that was a headshot, this game's over.
Indeed. It's a game of inches, a game of millimeters, and a game of milliseconds. And the seconds and the inches are favoring Infinity, at least in that round. Calm kind of got hung out to dry, though. His teammates couldn't do anything on that 2v2 take. And if one of those kills goes the way of Mythic, it's such an easier win for Calm. CNF, though, will try and fix the mistakes made by Mythic in the previous 2 rounds. Poland will add to it as another kill goes the way of the T side. Katie has traded out on the Malbs as Poland fell to the op of Davies, and now the B side is open once again. The bomb should be going down, and ZNF in mid can lock down the cross. This time he's not going to play passive. He's going to hold it aggressively, and he should be able to lock this down. Help from the window as well. The spam from Calm with 1 kill. ZNF will actually get taken down by Kinky, but it's a 1v3, no kit for him. He does have utility, but both Flom and Calm were waiting for him. It will be that 16-8 scoreline for the second time in a row for Mythic tonight. They advanced to 8-1 in the Mountain Dew League, and they are showing no signs of slowing down. They are an extremely explosive team, and every single team in the league will have to watch out for them moving forward.
I think their one loss as well was a 16-13 to Chaos, if I recall correctly, which was actually their last Us2 game. So definitely not a result that was even really problematic. It's very reasonable considering the team they were against. 16-12. That was interesting from Mythic. It's almost like they heard me say they're not favoring the B bomb site. They really haven't gone for it. And they said, you know what? We're definitely going to win on a B site take. We could do this. I believe in us. They tried it 3 times in a row, lost 2 in a row, still decided to hit B. And the 3rd time was indeed the charm. They won that site. They won the frags on the site. And then once you got the bomb planted with the numbers advantage, it's just nigh on impossible for the CT to succeed in a retake. It was a really rough situation for them. So good attempt for Infinity. Not a great result. Unfortunately, they're going to slide to 0-3 in the league so far. They're playing with some disadvantages in terms of ping, but it's definitely not a favorable start to their MDL campaign. Meanwhile, Mythic, done for the evening. 2 feathers in their caps, 2 dubs to continue their dominance at the top of the leaderboard. And now we head to check back into one of our teams from the first game. It's Oceanus, who this time are going to be taking on Team Divine. We'll find out if they have better success this time around. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching the ESEA Mountain Dew League. We'll be right back.
This is game fuel. It's domination in a can. Oh, tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Hello, folks, and welcome to our last game of the evening. We are back a third time for the night, and this time it's going to be Oceanus once more taking on Team Divine, and we're keeping things very familiar, continuing on Dust 2 for another game. I'm still Darth Mike. This is still Boggs for the most familiar part of all by the end of this evening. And we're going to be bringing you the action. A little more Dust 2. You hoping for a similar play of events here, Boggs, or you think that we're going to get a little bit of a change-up?
I think we might see a bit more of a close game here. Oceanus definitely have some good aimers, as do Divine. And Divine, they lost Curry earlier on in the season, so they're playing with Mac now, former Singularity coach, most well known for his famous game field chug at Mountain Dew League Global Challenge. And hopefully for Divine, Mac has made his chug before this game starts, or else Oceanus could be off to a pretty nice start, catching Mac a little sleepy. Kohler has there's a prime chance for Oceanus to open things up. He's not going to be able to capitalize with a kill onto Riku just yet, but it's an A fake here. These two players out long are nothing but human decoys, as the rest of the play is in towards B, and it's working perfectly as Thief has rotated off. However, Mac has still survived for now, eventually dealt with. The only kill goes out towards Long, but Stellar and Robbie simultaneous pistol frags, and Stellar's already here to try and retake this A site. He has a kit. Riku and Robbie will be joining him momentarily. There's a massive chance for Divine to swing this back into their favor.
It definitely is. The problem is they've got no one in towards tunnel, so they're all going to be coming from the same direction here, which might just give a little bit of an advantage away. Tensky can kind of pepper up these players as they move through the window, do a lot of damage. They're even grouping up everyone towards the window. No one going door. That's a little odd. Okay, they will move door late. That is actually a great swing, playing the buddy system quite effectively. Defuse will come in. They even have a kit to make sure that it happens. That is going to be a comfortable round for Team Divine. I've got to say, based on the way I've seen these two teams play so far tonight, so far in the MDL, I favor Team Divine because of the map, because it's Dust 2. These are the players who, as Mac 51 last season, without practicing, to my knowledge, once the entire season, managed to plug their way into playoffs. They've got a lot of raw power and a raw potential. And so I expect to see some fireworks from them purely based on individual. And if there's a map where you're going to have those fireworks on an individual basis, it's Dust 2. So expecting some big things from this Divine side.
Yeah, they did lose one of their heavy hitters, though, in Curry. So that is a bit of a problem for Divine. However, they do have Mac, I believe, IGLing for the squad, so that takes a bit of the brunt off of Stellar's shoulders, allowing him to have more freedom to frag, as he is a very good fragger in his own right. Somebody who kind of goes a little underappreciated for the Divine roster. Robbie's going to double down here as Kohler and Tensky fall, but Melio was answering it back with a deagle shot. Thief and Riku, however, have brought it back to reality, and Thief with the Kukli style will finish off Wolfie in the end. Divine up 2-0, but Oceanus, thanks to that bomb plant, will have a full buy in this round. They did the more unorthodox play here, going for a save in the second round, opting for a full buy in round number 3 after the bomb plant. Glass cannon op on Wolfie. Kriegs and the AK on Joel's. Still some SMGs and a FAMAS or 2 on Divine. But the Molly early long doors will keep things level for now, as Oceanus are relegated to that top of mid spot, one out towards T-ramp, the other A long.
All right, we're back. Apologies for the minor audio issues there, but we've got it all sorted. Shouldn't be a problem going forward, hopefully, fingers crossed. Kohler, speaking of no problems, is going to be able to survive the Opera, and more than survive, he's going to thrive, gets himself a pick, and Stellar is traded out towards long. Robbie will retake that position and keep the numbers even at the very least. Bomb now planted. 3 players up on the site. They're going to have to deal with these players coming up. It's Mac who's going to lead the charge. The once-time coach, now Fragger, coming up, and he's got 1. He's got his teammate to support as well, and Robbie from afar is going to keep him alive. Defuse can come through. Round is decidedly won. Alt is even retrieved, and it is going to be Divine coming away with a 3-0.
Indeed, Mac with that opening kill, plus running distraction for Robbie to walk out long. Fantastic stuff from Divine. 3-0.
I'm going to say I saw a great tweet from Stellar, I think it was, who tweeted that Team Divine season right now was Mac's Make-A-Wish. They were carrying him to dubs, and I kind of love that image.
I do
Kind
too.
of love that image.
I wholeheartedly agree. That tweet gave me a good chuckle. And what we saw there, Mac making things work pretty well for Divine, keeping it easy for Robbie. And now Oceanus are back on a deco. Some flashbangs and a smoke. Walking in towards that B site. But the man of the hour, Mac, has all this catwalk control right now. No lower wrap in play for Oceanus. 4 players bottlenecked into that tons pop. Stellar has 1 from Big Box, but actually Kohler will have the kill. The 1D comes through, leaving Thief in a 1v4 push. And he'll actually get the second kill, going for the third, but Wolfie once again getting the kill with the Deagle. Riku swings it on a pistol. Melio adds another one to his tally. But Mac will double down for the final 2 frags of the round. Divine keeping it in their favor with a 4-0 start. The buy coming in from Oceanus, but that one got really expensive and a little too close for comfort if you're Divine.
It did indeed. It did indeed, but they're continuing to put the numbers on the board, and they've got a little bit of bank to fall back on. But at this point, this is going to be the big test, right? Oceanus have the weapons to do what they may. They've got those Kriegs, those fearsome Kriegs, and out they go straight into the fight. It is going to be Tensky to win the first duel. He will get traded immediately, and with a Molotov down, his teammates can't really justify fighting this. They're still going to, and so they're going to lose their lives one after another. They really committed to that phase, and after it didn't go their way at the beginning, it's not quite ideal. So bodies now drop. 4 players alive in a 4v2 for Divine. They're feeling great. And Emilio might just be the next lamb to the slaughter. I say that. He's more like the butcher here, as he's just going to walk out and find Thief dry. Really nicely done for Emilio. Might just give his team an opportunity into this, but Stellar's going to read the presence very nicely. He likely saw the second player as well, and as they come around, Stellar loses his life. So that's a plant at least in a 2v1 as they come back into the retake. Bomb will be down. Robbie has a ton of utility to sail into this bomb site to make him very uncomfortable indeed. With smokes, mollies, and flashes, they should have a good opportunity to really make this hard on Jols.
Yeah, Riku swapped away from the op and back to the Krieg, and that will be the finishing nail in that coffin. Who needs utility indeed, as that was just a peak. Both Stellar and then, I believe it was Joel's in the last person alive, going for some unnecessary aggressions there, both leading to their eventual demise. And Divine, though, will be happy to take the 5th round on the board. Once again, though, another costly round, keeping their economy in check. Not allowed to really grow that bank too severely. As there's 2 players at 4K, everybody else is relatively poor. Another B train coming in from Oceanus. Oh, that is a great play from Thief early. That's a good chunky nade, too. This is going to be a mop-up.
Molly down. He's going to bail out. He's done the damage. He's set them up. They know he knows where they're all at. And while Kohler will find 1 kill and claim Mac, it's instantly traded out. So health definitely not in favor of the T's at this point. They have to completely readjust. They know their position is completely compromised at this point. Info peak actually leads to a bullet from Wolfie going into his teammate Emilio's shoulder. It's not a ton of damage, so it's not a catastrophe by any measure, but just showing the signs of dysfunction from Team Divine, really having the advantage of positioning, having the advantage of these duels. Oh no, nearly through the door. Joel's will go not quite down, but the health gets even worse. At this point, it's like the coronavirus has struck over at the Oceanus team house, and they're not feeling great. They're not feeling healthy. Thief going to be traded 1-for-1. Robbie going to be continuing to keep control out towards long. That one may have been too soon. We'll see. Wolfie trying to get something going here, but both players are isolated, and Joel's is kind of into the fight a little too early for Wolfie to capitalize on it. He will ultimately get the kill, but at the cost of his teammate's life. And now Wolfie is all alone, all in his lonesome. 35 seconds to try and rotate back around, to try and get towards B, to try and get something going here.
There's more than enough time to plant. Yeah, he can get the plant at the very least, which should actually secure a buy, given the fact that Oceanus have max loss. He has a Molotov, too, to hold things off on the post plant. But I like how Divine are playing this. They're playing buddied up. They're not going to leave anything to chance. They're not going to split 1-1. And now that there's no sign of hide nor hair of Wolfie out towards A, they're going to make that rotation in towards B. They're halfway there by the time the bomb eventually does get planted. And they're in a decent spot for this retake. The only thing they actually lack is utility. Something that Wolfie does have in his back pocket is the Molotov, and he's going to sit in back plat, try and hold and hope and pray that Divine will line up or go 1v1, and maybe he can win those duels, get the molly out on the bomb. His time is starting to dwindle extremely low. They know where Wolfie is, however. He's dancing around. He's got one, but Stellar will end it with a brilliant shot. You might even say a stellar duel. And they'll get the defuse in the nick of time. Divine 5 up, or 6 up rather. Their money, though, still not allowed to grow, as once again they lose a significant amount of players.
Indeed they do, but ultimately they're winning the rounds, right? And this is the CT side, and you still haven't cracked the board if you're Oceanus. You still haven't gotten that just one dub on that you need, and this is a team from Divine where really, even as T-side as this map normally is, it's going to be more so for Divine because they just thrive on being able to make those individual aggressive plays and being able to get it done. This time it's going to be the Molotov to get it done. Joel's is caught outside the doors. He's likely going to be next to follow as Robbie is just stacking the kill count here. Stacking the kill count one after another. It's looking like they're going to come back towards mid, and that might just give Thief an opportunity to steal away some more. And they've bled what little utility they had really on that long fight, so they're in a tough spot to actually get on toward the site. They haven't found a kill to show for it. They've got damage, but damage is just not enough at this point. And now Thief, he's going to find the timing. Does he find the timing on this catwalk push? Does he catch them out? He's definitely going to go for the check. And if they're not fast enough, he'll find them all with their backs turned. In the meantime, they got to get past Riku's op. They're trying to run boost over it, but Wolfie is going to come into the angle. He will find the damage, but not the pick. And damage is not enough as the flank is now on, and it's all shut down. 2 kills found at least to make it a bit expensive, but Team Divine are having their way with Oceanus, and it is really a struggle for Oceanus to get anything going.
Yeah, Oceanus has been dammed up. They have no room to flow. It's just, they're stagnant. Everywhere they go, they're bottled up, mollied into oblivion, shot down, shut down by Divine. Doesn't matter who they walk into, whether it's Robbie, who at the point in time right now is 14-2, by the way, sitting pretty at a 7.0 KD. Riku is getting his kills. Nobody on Divine is negative. Stellar has 4 kills and 4 deaths. Mac with 3 kills, 3 deaths. So overall, everyone on Divine is winning their aim duels when they're actually put to the test. And Oceanus are just having no luck. And now with 2 Kriegs in the hands of Divine on the CT side of Dust 2, makes things even harder for a T side to get some traction. And Melio's gone for the hero AK with everyone else going for a save. A paltry tag onto Mac, down to 86 HP. Nothing much at all to concern him. Kind of like a sting from a mosquito in the end. And Joel should very soon be going 6 feet under. Closed casket funeral for him as his head has been obliterated by Stellar. Slow and steady, potentially winning the race for Oceanus, but they are already starting down a man. And there's Robbie in CT ready to mop things up. Bomb is still back top long, so there is a chance here for Oceanus to make their move elsewhere rather than committing to the mid split. That will be the case. They'll try their luck with Cat once again. But Cat has not been the lucky spot for Oceanus. Same could be said for any other spot on the map. And Riku and Goose with the Yop in hand will eliminate the rifle. Foremost, the second shot not going to connect, but he has teammates to bail him out. He has no utility, but Stellar's actually going to go down thanks to Wolfie. Riku's been naded, but Robbie coming in through CT, only good for 1 as Kohler will send him to the freezer. A fantastic shot, but he will no longer be effective in this round. Tensky last alive in a 1v2. The cat flank from Thief will all but put him to bed. Mac on the flank Thief from CT. And the op will be recovered. Mac will eventually win that duel. And Divine 8-0, Mike.
8-0. 8-0 on CT side of Dust 2. This is a backyard beatdown. I mean, this is just a true all-out battering. There's not a lot in terms of silver lining that you can say for Oceanus other than that they've made rounds expensive. I mean, you can see, despite winning 8 rounds in a row, there's little to no money saved for Team Divine, and that's just been the case the whole way through. The problem is this is already a catastrophic half, so how many more rounds do you even need guns? Well, this might be the chance to finally crack that goose egg on the scoreboard. They've got a lot of opportunity here. They've got a double man advantage. They just have to be careful not to give back any of these kills. Thief is sneaking his way out catwalk. He could get caught by the player in tunnels, but they're not going to peek lower. Oh, they have no idea. They're going to think they're safe here. He's going to have a huge opportunity. There's one. There's a second as well. Thief might just do it for his team again. The bomb's moving up ramp just now. They're trying to go for a plant, but Molly's in will deny it. And that bit of utility might just give Stellar the space he needs to have impact once more. Joel's is walking for it. As Stellar walks through the smoke, surely he gets caught. Surely they don't let him get away with this. And indeed, that is the case. So it's all going to be on to Thief. Tough spot to play from. He's already found 2 kills in the round. It would take the full ace for him to win it. And it will be Joel's to prevent that from happening. So Oceanus, finally, they get one on the board. And again, because they kept the round so expensive, Team Divine don't have a lot to work with. They've got 2 players in double eco situation, other players with saved weapons. So they're going to go ahead and go for the force here, go for the double eco potential. But if they don't win this, the money, it's gone.
It's kind of weird to say that when Divine's won 8 rounds and had won 8 rounds in a row. This is the first round on the board for Oceanus. Their breadstick taking a long time to cook in the oven, but they still have all the money. Oceanus, Divine have really nothing to work with here. While Kohler is relegated to a Galil, there's an op in play. There's a decent amount of utility, a Krieg and 2 AKs for the T side. It seems that the T side was the one winning based off of how the economy is going. But I guess such is the life of a CT economy. And an early A stack from Divine may just put that life back into their favor. Mac, though, will run through smoke and meet his end at the hands of Wolfie. The rest of Divine here to try and hold things off. Robbie dealt with easily by Kohler. A nade will drop him in the end, but Tensky actually goes down to Thief. Riku will get 2. Stellar's got the flank onto Wolfie. That's the bomb down on ramp. And Joel's last alive of Catwalk will now be in a 1v1 against Stellar, who's picked up an op. A flash goes over, but he peeks before it. Stellar crouching in, has won the day for Divine. Another expensive round, but Oceanus cannot catch a break here. Everything, it seems, is going wrong for them.
I mean, yeah, everything's going wrong. They're losing advantageous situations again and again and again. They had the numbers there. They had the numbers. They have movement on towards site. They just ultimately can't keep themselves alive. They can't win the fights. And they get dropped. And that's a problem. We talked about it. There's just an insane amount of individual skill from Team Divine. Every single one of their players is going to be a threat. And on a map like Dust 2, that individual talent can shine. And Oceanus is not doing a great job of mitigating it, and they're really finding themselves, I think, getting ahead of themselves a little bit when they have those advantages, maybe overlooking some positions, maybe overlooking some duels, and getting demolished as a result. So, bit problematic here. I mean, a bit problematic. Very problematic if you're an Oceanus fan. Very problematic indeed. 9-1. Their economy looking rough. They're going to have this round for sure, and admittedly, Divine's going to have little to nothing to work with, but as we've seen, little to nothing is kind of where Divine thrives. They don't need a ton. They just need guns of some variety, and they'll find a way to get sneaky with them and find a kill. Look at Thief on the other side of the smoke. I don't think they're going to have any idea he's here. If they go for this beast blade, he's going to get 1. He's going to get 2!
Oh!
Thief, once again, coming up with a big multi-frag, getting rifle upgrades for himself and a teammate as well, and that's just going to set Oceanus back before they even get started.
Thief is stealing rounds away for Divine, giving them chances when Oceanus have the advantage. And once again, he commits grand theft, gets a double or even more, and just turns the round on its head to favor his team once again. An MP9 mid-range at mid-doors, mowing down full armored T's. It's too easy for Thief.
They just had no idea that he would be there, right? Like, it's a cheeky angle to play. I'll give you that. It's very unusual to see a player sit back behind the mid smoke that way, and it's exactly what he was hoping would work.
Yeah.
It's just a cheeky play. But the fact that you get that decimated again and again and again it's just a problem. It's such a problem. that should certainly never work again. If they let that work one more time this game, then it's majorly concerning. We need to see the adjustment here. They're going to peek out before that smoke actually blooms, so Riku's going to get one in most of a second as well, which sets up Robbie to get the easy trade and the second frag to boot. Robbie just cleaning it all up, making sure there's no chance to get towards site, even retrieving the op for his teammate to just say, hey, got this for you, Riku. Nice little gift in the mail.
Yeah, and I thought Thief was about to get the flank as well. He's been doing absolutely amazing right now. And I mean, it's been 3 or 4 times he's flanked up on Cat and gotten kills with Oceanus failing to adjust and account for his presence in mid. He just sits behind the smoke and gets another double down towards mid. And now he might just go and farm some kills over towards B, as actually it's going to be Stellar with a double Molotov frag. He is having barbecue for dinner tonight. He follows up on the Tensky with the AUG, and Oceanus are getting roasted inside of the server. Mentally roasted, physically roasted. It is...
How do you mentally roast someone? Are we like roasting their brains, or are you talking like a Comedy Central roast?
Why not both?
Just sitting them down and roasting them jokes-wise? I'd watch that. Just to
Stellar got an ace
pause
there,
the
too.
game and start sending them messages in chat to roast them.
I mean, you know what kind of talk goes on in the chat.
Goofy talk. What's really impressive is that Team Divine are 11-1 and Mac is 4-5-6. 4-5-6, by the way. Mac's learning how to count. He's working on his counting as a coach. This really is the Mac's Make-A-Wish team.
Yeah.
It's see if we can carry Mac to playoffs. No,
The
it's
global challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Mac is doing a lot for them. Let's see. How's he doing on effective flashes? He has 0 effective flashes. Never mind. I was
Okay.
going to say, I was sure he's doing a lot for them to support them and set up his teammates. He's got no utility damage, no effective flashes.
He doesn't have no utility. He has 14, okay? He has more than
Okay,
Riku.
he has
Cut him some
14 utility
slack.
damage. He has more than Riku, the Opper.
And Riku
Sure.
has 10 effective flashes, by the way.
And he has more than 3 of the Oceanus players. But, Mac is giving them the good. He's giving them the good let's goes every time they went around. He's checking the game fuel. Has one of the best game fuel clips of all time.
Oh, that is one of the best clips of all time.
Period. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Oh, that was a moment.
I'm just saying this right now. I don't know if we can get this approved, Justin, but we should definitely insert a yes, sir button into the production setup so that anytime we're watching a Divine game, we can get that as an audio bite. It's going to be bloodshed at long once again. Kohler trying to corral it, and he actually will get the first frag. He's blind. He doesn't realize it yet, but his teammates are pretty excited about that one. We'll see if they can operate off of it. They got an advantage. Mac's going to go right back into it. That was a little bit frisky to play solo, and it's not going to work for him. Mac will be dropped. No chance for damage in this round. It's going to be left to Riku, who's, again, taking really bold fights, hopping out on site with 2 players looking his way. He is lucky to escape with his life. It's looking like this is a pretty good setup for Oceanus to take their second round. They just have to not fumble the rock at this point. They're right by the goal line.
Yeah, but we've seen this situation for Oceanus multiple times before, and they have fumbled, but I think this time they finally might get it over the goal line, Mike. They've got it to a 5v1, only Stellar left alive. He might even just run for the hills here, try and save his dog. He'll get caught out by Tensky, so it is, at long last, second round for Oceanus, with 2 more rounds to play in the half. Already 11 rounds on the CT side of Dust 2, though, for Divine. We've been seeing how terribly T-sided this game has become. It doesn't bode well for Oceanus, but I believe there was a list put out by a coach earlier today about the best teams outside of the top in North America, like the best MDL teams on each map, and Divine was listed as the best Dust 2 team in the Mountain Dew League.
They have like an 88% win rate right now.
Yeah.
I think
They
they
don't
played it
lose
12
Dust
times. They've got an 88% win rate. That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dust 2 is their home.
You can't dust them off of Dust 2.
Which raises the question of why Oceanus vetoed to this. Like, if there's any map you're going to block against a team that likely are looser in their play style than the normal, than the standard, I think you want to play any map other than Dust 2.
Yeah, I'm sure, though, that Divine banned Nuke, which is the best map for Oceanus, the map which they've gotten their 2 wins so far in MDL. Mac will actually trade out Riku, so Joel's no longer long for this world. Deep bow getting two, almost a third. So close. I think he got M4 on Tensky.
Thief is like the king of positioning frags or flash frags where you just can't trade in the back. This round gets cleaned up. It's going to be 12-2. Last round of the half going to come through. I'm honestly not sure it's going to make much of a difference for Oceanus if they get this or not. Obviously, they'd love to get it and then win the subsequent pistol, but that's really going to be the determining factor here as opposed to this last round. It's going to be rough for them. One last-ditch effort to get around on the board. We'll see if they can do it. But Thief, I'm always impressed. He's the cheeky kills, the kills where you don't expect him to be there. That time it's a pretty straightforward flash peek in towards tunnels, but he just always seems to get these multi-frags where you don't have a chance to really trade him back. Damage done. Okay, aggressive play from Wolf. He doesn't want to give up this position, does not want to concede the space at all, and he will catch Stellar, who was not anticipating a player to be that far forward since Thief had gotten a kill. Thief falls to the HE. This is looking good for Oceanus, suddenly looking a lot more decisive as a team. They're holding, waiting for these aggressive plays from Divine, and giving them space, but here's the problem. Robbie, he's about to find the bomb. Oh, if he looks to his left, he's got the bomb. It's there. He's got a teammate, or an opponent, rather, who's going to check him with a headshot, and that will be Milio to make sure it's not a problem. But that for a moment, was looking frisky.
A 13-2 half would be nigh impossible to come back from. A 12-3 is already a Herculean effort required for whoever is on that 3 side of the scoreboard. Pistol round will be more important now than it probably ever has been. Still, though, things are not looking bright for Oceanus. Hope is not fully drained. They still have some. But it really all hinges on the pistol round. A loss on pistol gets Divine up to 14 rounds, 14-3. 2 more rounds, and it's all over for Oceanus. And Stellar is a pistol god. So I'm expecting Stellar to get a raid boss or a P250 here and just go and mow down people. That does seem to be his standard of performance. I don't think I remember the last time I watched a game with Stellar playing that he didn't get a 4K on a pistol round.
He's crispy. He's crispy with those pistols. We'll see what they can do. 12-3. If they lose the pistol round here, obviously for Oceanus, it's all but done. They'll get a forest buy and they really have to go for it, but it will likely seal the deal. They're going to try. Stella's going to be a utility player for the team this time around, so he's not going to be the raid boss. He'll just be working with that Glock. We'll see if he can block his way to victory. Seems like it's going to be a pretty straightforward B-rush play. There are 3 players here ready for them. They read this pretty well. Utility down. Kohler gets first blood. There's second as well, and the third, and one after another. They falter. Very straightforward play, read nicely by Oceanus, and they had the bodies here to just frag it out. They're hitting the shots. They're only going to have 1 casualty from Melio, who was trying to get a little too aggressive there, and it will be a massacre as Oceanus do swiftly take that pistol round.
Swift victory indeed. Melio getting some nice frags there to open things up, or I guess close things down, as the case may be. But overall, though, a very necessary round for Oceanus. A round they could not afford to lose. They finally pick up a victory here. A massive victory that gives them a chance to come back. Now they're up against the Deco, or I guess Deeg Force, with a scout on Riku. Bit of early damage chipped down onto Thief. Takes 7 points away from him with the grenade thrown into tunnels. But right now, tons heavy default from Divine. Riku hoping somebody can walk into his crosshair with a scout, trying to channel his inner Davies, who had a couple nice scout shots on the AT-side pistol force. But this should be an Oceanus round, barring any miraculous results for Divine, any individual performances that raise the bar just a little bit. Good delay of a smoke there from Kohler. Perfect timing as Divine were just about ready to go. And actually, Riku might throw himself to the wolves as he's walking out towards A. Melio is there, takes a scout tag, but wins that duel. And actually, Divine are deciding they want nothing to do with B. Mike, they're heading all the way out towards A and Cat.
Yeah, indeed. This exposes them to this mid-aggression, but by that same token, Joel gets drawn a little bit too far in, trying to get that Xbox frag. He exposes himself to the Deagles. This is a team, again, where you need to be careful in any situation. Yes, they only have Deagles, but it's also Divine with Deagles. They can be frisky. Wolfie pushing long is going to get a lot of information here, and he might just catch this flank on towards Catwalk. Are they holding for it? Matt could be watching. He's actually going for the push down towards mid. Now he goes for the hop up. Here we go. On goes the hit. Trades are even. Wolfie needs to get on this flank faster than ever before, and eventually he will find it. That'll deny the plant at the very least. That allows further space for Tensky, who's got a case of the hops right now and finding the kills, and that's the mop-up. Wolfie actually took the first of that 2K spray down, or what it looked like from my perspective. And so Oceanus, they're making a little bit of noise here. This is obviously going to be a different situation once the guns come out, but at least for the moment, they got some space.
Yeah, for now they have a chance. Not much of a chance, but it is growing with every single win they put on the board. You know, if they can get double digits before Divine make it to 15, there is more than a chance, but Thief will do whatever he can to make that not a possibility. He lands a nice little 1D onto Tensky.
We have a quiet moment here. I just want to say I'm a big appreciator of Robbie's profile pic. Shoutouts to Emperor Uriel the Septim. He's a good man. Uriel Septim. He was taken from us too soon.
Too soon indeed. Although
too soon.
He does look a little more well armed than he did back in that prison cell.
Does he? Oh, I just noticed in the corner of it. There we go. He's ready for the assassins this time around. He's ready to take them. If anyone's not aware of who that is, you should play Oblivion. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It is a phenomenal game, and I would recommend it to everyone, even though the NPCs kind of look like they have potato faces. There we go. Wolfie locking this down. That's the bomb. Riku's going to have to try and go for it, and he's just going into his death. Probably recognized that, but realized it is the only decision that could be made. This is going to be a swift round for Oceanus, and so they do overcome the test. There's going to be another test on the other side. Rifle's going to be coming right back at them, and this is where it could all swing. Rifles out. Big, strong guns for Team Divine, and we know how frisky they can get. Meanwhile, though, there is an op for Wolfie, so that's promising.
Yeah. He's a solid opper, so I'm expecting him to get some frags here. He's going to hold up on Carr, have his other two teammates go aggressive out long. Up to blue is Tensky, but Stellar, blind as a bat, will spam him into Oblivion, and Melio will soon join him as he is tagged down low, retreating into the pits. Wolfie is there to hold him, but a smoke goes in through Thief as they want to full-on challenge Melio, who will now join him in Sovngarde to switch to Elder Scrolls 5. Joel's, though, going for more. Mac has an opportunity to get the kill, spams him through the box, but Wolfie has landed a shot with the op, but still manpower is favoring Divine. Just Wolfie and Kohler last alive. And the bomb is making its way up catwalk down towards middle. Kohler actually yin-yanging around with Mac. And Thief might get caught out from behind as Wolfie may very well make the timing work. But this is such an odd amount of timing. The timing does work for Wolfie, however. The bomb at his feet. And Mac is none the wiser to the fact that somebody is walking right out of B tunnels and right behind him.
This is a big problem now. Only 40 seconds to play with. Kohler getting aggressive. I think he just exposed his head. He's still going to win the duel. That's big for Kohler. Thought once they spotted him, this might just have all been done, and Matt can't win the second face on the fight. So that is going to be another round for Oceanus. This one much riskier than before. But they've got the money at this point. They've got the economy to deal with this. And so Team Divine, I think, are likely going to have to take a bit of a half buy here. We'll see if they just go force into it. That's always the temptation when you're a very skilled individually team, is to see if you can make it happen. This time they are going to take the half buy, so I'm glad that they do that. Take the deco with a scout as well to try and soften them up. We'll see if they can get it done with the hand cannons, but if not, it's okay. They'll have rifles in the next. Still, this is starting to look more believable. Oceanus on their CT side of all things, looking a lot more solid here. Nice nades in, going to soften up Thief. And the Molly's going to force him into a peek. Thief should not be long for this world. He is being barbecued. He's crispy fried, and he somehow escapes.
Yeah. He jumped out of the frying pan, and he's not even in the fire because he has some room to escape. His teammates have mid unlocked. There's nobody coming in from behind. So he is more than comfortable for now, aside from slightly singed, or maybe a little more than slightly. But still, though, Divine should not have much of a chance in this round unless some massive deagle shots come through. Max actually going to open things up on Amelio, but the bomb goes down. The lineup is there for Joel. He'll land 3 kills. Riku getting 1, but Thief has just stolen a kill on the Kohler, side-swapping him, and now he has a Krieg to work with in a 1v2. Both players coming from CT. If Tensky peeks, the timing there for Thief. Gets caught out with utility in his hands. Unfortunate for him, but extremely fortunate for Oceanus as they cut the deficit to 4 rounds. This was 12-3, Mike. It's 5 in a row for the CT side, and Divine have failed to find an answer.
I mean, yes, they're continuing to do damage here. They definitely have failed to find an answer. They've only had, one proper gun round to this point, maybe 2 half. It's the problem with these repeated forces is you don't necessarily have the best situation in your own gun rounds. But now they're going to have an attempt. This is really going to be the deciding swing round, I would say. They've got the rifles. They've got all the utility in the world. If Oceanus can hold up to this onslaught, then they're well positioned to tie this up. As it is, they still have a 4-round deficit. There's still the chance for Team Divine to sort of crack that egg and get the momentum in their favor. There'll probably be a bye after this, even if Oceanus lose. But at that point, it's going to be a little more lackluster. It's going to be a little bit more limited, and you're going to start to see the pressure back on for them. So for Team Divine, there is still definitely cushion to operate off of. But yes, they are certainly making this look more respectable. Now we see what they can get. Catwalk control taken. Stellar forward on it. It's a pretty passive hold vis-a-vis Cat for Oceanus, but it's a nice setup for it. They've got the op to take first face and distract focus, and then you'll have the ramp player swing on Melio. Meanwhile, he makes sure that no one's gotten through CT, which it's soft in towards mid, but of course, Divine can't do that as of yet. Aggression in towards tunnels doesn't necessarily favor them. A trade there, an even trade, not ideal. Now Smokes can go down. They can gain some ground. They're getting up towards the window. This is going to become very tough indeed for Joel's in just a moment. He does get aggressive to find a frag, and that's honestly a great return considering the situation he was put in. Problem is now the bomb's going to go down. They've lost the B bomb site. 15 seconds don't matter once those numbers are punched in, and it's a big question mark of whether Oceanus want to go for this retake.
Honestly, Oceanus probably could go for it. They have actually, with loss bonus being at the bottom of the barrel, they might not want to go for it if they can't find an early pick here. Tensky on the op instead of Wolfie. Flashbang's going in, but the post play so strong from Divine. The flashbang full blind is Thief, and actually Melio and Wolfie simultaneous frags, but Stellar from back flat, tapping away, spraying away, buying time. Tensky with an op, he's tagged down low, finishes off Stellar, and he has just enough time for the defuse. The retake goes the way of Oceanus. The bomb plant will enable another buy from Divine, but Tensky has salvaged it for Oceanus, keeping them in this one. They're 1 round away from double digits. They are 3 rounds away from tying this game here on Dust 2 and taking out Divine potentially. This is an amazing turnaround for Oceanus, showing extreme mental fortitude.
It certainly is. Big resilience for them, and that was such an important kill to find. We were talking about how that could have been an absolute swing round. And they survive. They survive the test. That was a big one. Honestly, big errors from Team Divine. You've got even numbers. You've got a full hold on the B-bomb site. You've got that much time. Yes, you don't necessarily have the utility for it, but that should be a fairly favorable situation for a T side. And they just don't quite win the fights that they need to. So, bit concerning. They're going to get some aggression up mid, at least. They've got a lot of control. They can limit the rotations here, regardless of which site they ultimately decide to hit. They've got a ton of control of where Oceanus can go. There's only 2 players in towards the site. It looks like they're going to try and take some mid control towards B and possibly split B again. Although, I say split, that requires you have somebody in tunnels, and right now it seems pretty one-dimensional. They're going to go for this mid-day. They're dumping a ton of utility to do so. Now what do? There's a jump spot over towards doors. Joel's is going to see them coming. He knows that they're coming. Cole is going to be able to get the peek as a result. Does he win his fight? He's got some damage, has to fade away. He's losing teammates. In the meantime, Joel's is dropped. Kohler now the lone defender in sight. It's a massacre in towards CT, so they don't even have to come here anymore. They know Kohler's here. They can just dip out. And while he will try and deny that bomb's rotation, in the same token, he reveals his position, allows Robbie to swing in for the trade. So this may be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Team Divine, they just needed 1. Now that they've gone on to 13, they've got that 4-round lead again, and the money for Oceanus is in shambles. Wolfie and Tensky have some cash. Melio's got a bit, but Kohler and Joel's have to hit the save. Recognizing that they don't have too many rounds to work with, they're going to go ultra conservative with the buy here, give themselves the maximum chance in their gun round.
I think that's the wise call from Oceanus. They've been finding success with the rifles, apart from that last round. But now this is a chance for Divine to get themselves within 1 round of overtime. Secured. 2 rounds for the match. And they severely outnumber Divine as far as firepower is concerned. Utility, everything. 2 upgraded pistols, a P250 and a Deagle for the CT side. Robbie, though, might get caught off guard as there's a double push coming in through tunnels. Smoke's going out towards A, though. Flashbang high. A ding coming through, I believe a body. And Tensky actually holding things down. Kohler's got one on the USP. Wolfie taps away. Riku and Stellar trying to pull this back. And Stellar with a fantastic flick will eliminate Melio's smoke push. The bomb going down back. Big box. It's not a very advantageous plant, but it is safe. But Joels has just demolished Stellar and put Oceanus in a prime spot to steal away a round on a full eco.
That was disgusting. Riku might just save it, though. They don't have armor. There's such soft targets for him. But it's going to be Joel's again with a P2K to get it done. He saves his team. He salvages this. He keeps the AK up. He's going to get the defuse to boot. What a play from Joel's. The first shot onto Stellar hiding behind the car was disgusting, was already nasty. But to win the second as well, I mean, what a beautiful round from Joel's. What a nutty attempt. How on earth does he bring that through? I'm not quite sure. But whatever it is, he's keeping Oceanus' hopes alive here. He's making this happen. And they've climbed to double digits. They're only 3 rounds back. And they have a chance to keep this rolling here on Dust 2.
2000 is the best CT starter pistol. Confirmed. Thanks to Joel.
Have armor.
No armor, a P2K, and a dream. And he made his dream a reality.
That's truly wild. Big pick, though, for Stellar. He's going to open up mid, and there's the second follow-up as well. Yes, Mac will get traded, but now there's so much pressure on to Kohler. They're coming from both directions, and he's got no support. He's on an island. He's got to do it all. He's blind. He's dead. Bomb will be planted. This round is over. It's got to be a save for Wolfie and Tensky. No chance for shenanigans or heroics in this one. So that will be Team Divine immediately reasserting themselves, say, okay, you guys won a round that you had no business winning. We're going to shut that down real quick. Whatever hope you just sparked, whatever chance there was for confidence start flowing off of that, we're gonna snuff those embers out with the back of our heel. No chance here.
Yeah. Divine woke up after that rude awakening. And Oceanus are sent back to the save. Joel's will have enough to buy after his heroic performance, but Kohler and Melia will have to get dropped guns from Wolfie and Tensky. Divine keeping 4 players alive as well was a good second kill from Mac out towards window, which really allowed Divine some room following up Stellar's initial pick. But Divine now creeping ever closer to that eventual match point. 1 round away from overtime secured. And actually, Wolfie and Tensky don't have much to drop for Kohler and Melio. Tensky can drop a Galil. He'll actually drop an, or not a Galil, Famas, but he'll drop an MP9 instead. Melio will be relegated to a Deagle. And a full buy from Divine with an op for Riku. He's going to go for the long scrim. Flashbangs will force the CTs away as they are going conservative plays out long, but Wolfie, aggression in towards tunnels, eliminates Stellar. He's also spotted the cross towards A. The rotation's already in effect for Oceanus, and they're going to have a nice defense set up for this one. Kohler may well get aggressive in tunnels soon enough, and Matt could get caught on the CT cross, but Riku catches Tensky getting a little too overzealous, and Mac has somehow made his way all the way to the long doors despite this heavy mid presses.
Not getting touched. No one wanted to peek out. No one wants to give up their life. They'll get a player on towards that flank in Joel's. But this is now a tough spot. They've given up the site. That bomb has to cross for sure. There's a chance for it to go awry, but Mac will get it over. They're dumping further utility to make sure they can't get peeked from Catwalk. Robbie, caught in transition as those smoke fades, will lose his life, and that does give a rifle over to Melio. So definite concern here at the man disadvantage. A lot's going to be up to Riku, who has to control one, but he doesn't realize Joel's already gotten to the blue dumpster, and that's a catastrophe now. If they don't have the op presence, it would have been a big ace in the hole for them. They've no longer got that luxury. Oh, Mac trying to get that fight, has to do it. It's all going to be on the Thief, and he's overwhelmed. Too many bodies. So Oceanus still making this work, fighting this back. They are right at the end of their rope, but they're clinging to it desperately, clawing in with their fingernails, and just keeping that grip alive, keeping their hopes alive here on Dust 2. That play from Wolfie was insane. That was such an aggressive, risky play, and it works. He catches the pick, but that was the ultimate gamble. I mean, he went to the casino, he put it all on black, and he said, go for it. He bet the house on that pick, and it works. But holy cow, he could have been punished if anyone was trying to get cap control early on, if they even caught him as he was exiting, if there was one player looking towards tunnel, if there were 2 players close to tunnel that could have swung him. There's so many ways that could have gone wrong. But it works. It works. It's a very bold, risky play. And that may have just been what won them the round.
It just works. I guess it just worked because I don't think it'll work again.
No,
Riku
you can't do that more than once.
Hold mid, because that's something that Divine haven't been doing. They haven't been holding that mid cross terribly often. And I think that might have been something that Oceanus picked up on. So it very well might have been a very calculated risk with Wolfie saying, you know what, they don't peek mid. Might as well take this opportunity to go into tunnels. Hope they don't push everyone down. And he was able to get that isolated duel. Wasn't able to get traded by Divine because nobody was in position for it. So Oceanus really reading Divine pretty well here. And I said in the pre-match that I thought this one could go the distance. It's getting very close, despite that 12-3 start.
Tensky that might segment this long approach. They're going to smoke it. They're going to go through for it. And they've gained positioning as well. The flashes are good, but the drop is better. Matt going to get that pick, and that's a big one to find. And Tensky's still out in the open. He's got to be so careful here. He will get one, but the trade is even better. That puts so much pressure onto Wolfie. He's got this off. He's let them know he has it, but they've done the damage. They've gained the positioning. They don't have to commit to this. Team Divine, they're just going to fade away. They've still got most of this round to play with. They spent 30 seconds taking that fight, come out with a man advantage, still utility to work with for a take, an advantage in every feasible facet of the game. And you can see utilities being dumped even by Oceanus to try and cover off that they don't have presence towards long. This is a pretty frisky situation. There's only one player towards either side. Player catwalk, not even one on A. Player mid, and then just Kohler in the back of B to try and hold on for this push. Riku silencing the mid player makes this ever tougher. It's going to be Kohler on an island. He'll actually move towards mid to try and take this back, but he's losing teammates in the meantime as Riku is just executing them one by one. The bomb's going to be planted at his back. Kohler, the road might just end here. He'll catch Riku, but there's players right here, and the trade is going to be beautiful. Robbie swings, Robbie catches it, and Team Divine secure match point. Now they've got 4 attempts to do so. Meanwhile, the piggy bank is broken for Oceanus. The French-Canadian side going to need to take out a loan to try and scrape together the funds to buy this buy to keep it going, to get something here.
They have 2 FAMASs, a Nop, a CZ, and a Deeg. No defuse kits at all. That could come back to haunt them, as this could be the last round of their road here on Dust 2. Joel's, though, has a chance to double down. If he can get 2 kills, this would be massive, but Robbie has bypassed him, walking through a smoke. Joel's has not peeked out yet, but Thief has eliminated Wolfie. That's the op gone. Joel's has fallen to Thief. Mac has swung out and dropped Kohler down on B site. Thief is still holding strong in CT, and he has Stellar coming in from behind, and Oceanus have been washed away here as Divine have finally put the nail in the coffin, and it will be a 16-11 scoreline at long last. Divine were able to put it over the line and take eventual victory over Oceanus.
That's just the problem with dealing with a team like Divine on Dust 2. At the end of the day, they've got so much firepower that's just tough to deal with. Oceanus took a long time to get into that game. I actually like what we saw from them in the second half. I mean, obviously the comeback is very respectable indeed, but just the way they kept that fortitude up, as you were talking about, the mental fortitude to have the wherewithal to make that much of a comeback happen is promising for them. They're, again, a rookie squad in the Mountain Dew League. They do not have experience in the Mountain Dew League before. They were a move-up team from last season. So it's definitely going to be a learning experience, just the level of firepower that you have to contend with. But we'll see if they continue to learn and grow. Meanwhile, Team Divine continue their mission to get Mac to the playoffs, and we'll see if they can do it. It's promising. I think they've got a winning record in the league. I think they're 3-1 if I had to guess right now, but I'm not quite sure on that. We could check the standings in a little bit. That is going to wrap up our show tonight, though, folks. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you these games. The Mountain Dew League will be back tomorrow night. Boggs will be there. I won't, but you'll be joined by JRT to keep you all company through the games tomorrow night. It's been an absolute blast. Do you have any parting words for these fine folks, Boggs?
Well, thanks for sticking around. We saw some great counter-strikes, some promise from Oceanus, both in that game versus Mythic and here against Divine on Dust 2. They're a relatively inexperienced squad when it comes to this level of counter-strike, and they showed great fortitude coming back not only against Divine here, but also earlier in the night against Mythic on video after another rough start. So Oceanus definitely a squad to look out for. This is a learning experience for them. They're having a bit of a rough awakening now. They got off to a good start, but now that people are counter-picking their nuke, they're having to expand their map a little. But definitely this is not the last we'll be seeing of Oceanus, nor will it be the last we'll see of them this season. I'm expecting a lot from these young kids, and hopefully they can live up to those expectations. But as it stands right now, I think they definitely have a lot to build off of and some great potential to realize before the end of the season.
All right. Well, we'll see if that potential can indeed be realized. That's going to be it for our show. If you enjoyed the show, do follow ESEA on Twitter and follow us here on this Twitch channel so you'll know the next time the Mountain Dew League is live. Spoiler alert, it's tomorrow. I think there's probably an EU show as well as an NA show. So tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, be sure to check those out. Also, consider following both of us on Twitter. If you enjoy our beautiful smiling faces, you can find those ats below our names. They're right down below. And follow our producer, Pythian Legume. You can find him at Pythian Legume. He's the one who makes all the show happen. He keeps the lights on. He keeps us all looking pretty. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. You've been watching the ESEA Mountain Dew League. Have a great night.
This is game fuel. It's domination in a can. Oh, tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Today trying to find ways to make you stay. Sarah, I want to go away, close my eyes, never wake up again. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's Molly for the melancholy. Cody, fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Zanny, still I know my side.